Hello and welcome to the Secret Vibe Show. Step into my lounge, get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage. You see, this is the Secret Vibe Show where we explore your V for your vision, your I for your intention, your B for your beliefs, and your E for expectation. All within the realms of relationships, dating, and spirituality. Now let me ask you, what do you want? Because the vibe you carry is the life you attract. Now let's take a deep breath together. Let's slow it right down. Today's episode is entitled Before the Conflict of Confusion. Let's look at God, energy, and the innocent knowing in all of us. So let's slow it down and take a deep breath. Exhale, be calm. Today's episode is special. It's not about impressing the mind. It's about awakening the heart. And I want to speak to the child in you, the part that remembers truth, not because it was taught, but because it was always there. So if you've ever been confused about what energy is, what God is, where you fit into it all, today we're going to strip away the jargon, the dogma, the heaviness, and return to something simple, something sacred, something even a 9-year-old could understand. You see, when I was a child, I understood God in such a simple, pure way. No complications, no religion, just love, presence, and connection. I remember running through fields of green grass and looking at buttercups and daffodils and wondering at its beauty and speaking to a presence that I did not yet call God, but knew was present. But I was born into a Christian household. And once I started school, I encountered a different God, a complicated one. The language, the ideology, the distant doctrines, they made God feel far away. It was cold, it was confusing. But deep down, I knew that wasn't the truth. And it is from that deep knowing that this series was born, a return to the simplicity of language, a return to truth. I believe my fifth sense is the gift of translation, taking what feels complex and distilling it into something even a child could understand. So let's speak to the child within me and within you. Let's begin the first episode of this sacred series with today's message, Before the Conflict of Confusion. Now, many adults, especially those shaped by either religious dogma or rigid scientific thinking, struggle to reconcile God and energy because the language feels at odds. But what I aim to do is to build a bridge of understanding using childlike clarity to deliver spirituality, to deliver spiritually mature truth. After all, this is what great teachers do. It's what Jesus did with parables. It's what mystics and sages have always done. Wrap the infinite in the simple so that the heart, not just the intellect, can grasp it. Let us begin. So before we were taught to be confused, what if God was never meant to be complicated? What if we were never supposed to argue over names, over titles, or who said what first? What if before religion, before fear, before shame, we all just knew that the breath in our lungs was God, knew that love was God. That truth was simple, and that the ocean didn't need to explain itself to the wave. In this space, we're stripping away the terminology, not to disrespect tradition, but to set the truth free from the cage of confusion, because a confused mind does nothing. And the world needs your clarity, your peace, and your power. So come back to the innocent you, the child who knew wonder, the heart that remembers. There was a time before we were taught to be confused, before we were told which name to use for God, before we were handed doctrines or arguments or guilt. There was a knowing, a pure, simple knowing that we were part of something bigger, something good, something that loved us back. We didn't call it theology. We didn't argue over it. We just called it love. We felt it in the trees, in our breath, in the stillness after a question. We knew somewhere deep inside us that we weren't alone. That part of us, that quiet knowing, that's the child, the innocent, the 9-year-old in each of us who already understands what our adult minds are still trying to figure out. That child knows. We look different, but we shine with the same light. God made all the lanterns, but he put the same flame in everyone. Let's expand on that one a little bit later. We may say God or universe or source or divine intelligence, infinite intelligence, but the truth doesn't change. God is not somewhere out there. God is the source and the substance, the one who creates. and the energy that flows through all of creation. God is the musician and the music, the candle and the flame, the ocean and the wave. So yes, God is energy, but not just the type you measure with wires and volts. No, God is living energy, conscious, loving, intelligent, present. And just like the ocean doesn't leave the fish because it swims away, God doesn't leave us because we forget who we are. Let me speak to the religious and the non-religious right here. The religious and the non-religious. To the religious, don't be afraid of the word energy. Think of it as the spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis. The breath of God that gave life to Adam. The power of God that holds all things together. It's not new age, it's ancient. And to the spiritual, but not religious, don't dismiss the source behind the energy. Energy is not random. It comes from an intelligent, loving presence. You may not call it God, but you've felt it when you've been still and known. Now, if the 9-year-old inside of you asked me, are you saying that we're all made in his image? And even though on the outside we look different, there's no difference because we all come from one? I would look you straight in the eye and say, exactly. That's what it means to be made in God's image. The outer form may vary, tall, short, dark, light, curly hair, straight hair. But the inner light, that's the same. That's God's fingerprint. That's the eternal flame. So today, I invite you to return to that child in you. Not to be childish, but to remember the truth before the confusion, before the arguments, before the fear. The part of you that already knows God is not a name. God is not a rule book. God is not far. God is breath. God is presence. God is the energy of love flowing through you and through everything. Let the complicated language fall away. Let the fear go quiet. And remember what you already know. You are not separate. You are not forgotten. You are not unloved. You are a wave in the ocean. You are a note in the song. You are the child of the source, and the source lives in you. Here's a wisdom key. A confused mind does nothing, but a clear soul remembers everything. Let me share with you an analogy. The candle and the flame. An analogy for the kid inside of you, for the child inside of you, for God and energy. Imagine God is like a big candle, a never-ending candle that never burns out. Now picture this. From that one big candle that represents God, you can light millions of little candles. Every flame that comes from it is made of the same fire, just expressed in a different way. Bright, small, flickering, strong. Each flame represents a different type of energy. One flame might glow with joy, emotional energy. Another might shine with ideas and thoughts, mental energy. Another might light up your body's strength and movement, physical energy. Another could feel like creativity or love, spiritual energy. Or maybe one could ignite you physically and it gives birth to creation, sexual energy. But guess what? They all come from the same source. You got it. The big candle. So you would say to the child, or to the child within you, God is like the big candle, and everything in the world is like little flames made from that candle's light. You see, every time you feel love, or think a thought, or jump and play, or even when you dream, you're using a little bit of God's light in a different way. So here's a wisdom key for the childlike heart. God is the big light. We are all little lights. And every kind of energy, whether it's in your heart, your mind, or your body, is just God's light doing something special. Now I hear that 9-year-old might respond, are you saying that we are all made in his image? And yet, even though our lightness is different, there is no difference because all is one. And yes, I would respond. Exactly. I would say to you, you've just said something very wise, my young friend. Even though we all look different on the outside, tall, short, brown skin, pink skin, curly hair, straight hair, we all carry the same light inside. That light comes from God. That's what it means to be made in his image. Isn't it amazing how we can be inherently all in the image of God and yet have a different lightness on the outside? Just like a set of twins. They have the same image, an identical set of twins, and yet their lightness completely different, and yet they are one when it comes to the question of source. So, to the child in you, imagine if the big candle made a bunch of colourful lanterns, red, blue, green, tall, round, short, but every lantern carries the same flame inside. The outside might look different, but the light inside is the same. That's God's image. That's your spirit. So yes, we may have different likenesses, our bodies and personalities, but there's no difference in the light that made us. We all come from the same source. So let me share with you this wisdom key. We look different, but we shine with the same light. Or God made all the lanterns, but he put the same flame in everyone. And yes, the child again may ask, are you saying God is the energy and he's also the source of the energy? And I would say yes. God is both the energy and the source of the energy. And so let's break this down in simple terms. God is the source of the energy, like the sun is the source of sunlight. The sun gives off heat and light, but the sun is not just the rays, it's the origin of them. God is like that, the source where all energy begins. God is the energy too. Just like the sunlight is part of the sun, God's energy flows into everything. In your breath, in your thoughts, in your love, in the trees, the stars, even silence. So God is not separate from the energy. God is the energy flowing through everything. You see, a wisdom key that you can take away is that what is unseen is not unreal. It is simply in its becoming. Another wisdom key would be God is not separate from the energy around you. He is the very essence of it, dancing as all things. And another wisdom key, in relation to your vibe, your energy, God is the source, the substance, and the song, the one who creates, and the very energy flowing through creation. And so you are the candle that emanates from the big candle. You are the God with the little g that emanates from the God, the Almighty God, the One. We are one. I hope that this episode has touched someone today. that you've felt inspired, that you're connected to the child within, and that it felt beautiful for you, that something clicked. Perhaps the penny dropped. Nothing is separate. So thank you for spending time with me today on the Secret Vibe Show. Thank you for connected. I am so grateful for your presence. And I pray that this conversation helped you to reconnect with the truth already living inside you. If it did, share it with someone who needs a little clarity and a lot of love. You are love. You are the very essence of it. There is no difference. Until next time, the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste, beloved.